So a couple of things. The car you saw at the beginning was actually Steve McQueen's Jaguar. I had the privilege of working on that, and it was fantastic. It's at the Peterson Museum, and I've had my hands on a lot of really super pretty cool stuff. This is not my car, but I have one, the same model. I'm going to show you a little bit about what we call the command center. There's two pieces to a CRM. There should be two pieces to a CRM, let me put it that way. You should have something that you can do your office work, and then you should have something on a mobile device. We're going to tag team, and when we're doing Doug's, when he's doing a snake oil demonstration, I'm going to have my phone out there, and so you guys can individually, once you've heard Doug, and you can come around and I'll show you some stuff on this. So we're going to try to tag team to do some stuff. It's all the same stuff whether you're doing it here or out there, other than photos and whatnot. So let's see. There are two components to a CRM, and I am not going to show you everything because of time. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the really basic stuff, and then we're going to get to some questions. I had some questions about, somebody asked me a question about something. Yes, point of sale, what it means, what you can do, all that stuff. So with the CRM, there's all levels of them, and I'm not going to badmouth anybody at all. There are CRMs that have very little, there's ones that have a ton. Because of the length of time that we've been doing this, we have way too much. We don't have enough time for me to talk about everything in there. And some of the stuff you wouldn't use anyway. So I have landscapers and furniture repair and electrical inspectors and everybody using this. Is what is referred to, and you might hear on the interwebs, a configurable application. And all that means is it has buttons to turn things on and off, okay? So in ours, you go to the back of the system and there's a bunch of settings. These settings are how you can turn things on and off. You can, you know, if you don't work on boats, you turn that off. If you work on motorcycles, you turn that on. And then it has all the other wonderful settings of things you can do. You know, you can track time on a line item. Someone's asking about time tracking. You can actually have your employees or yourself track your work on a specific line item of a vehicle, right? So we're going to do a decon wash. We're going to do a single stage correction. We're going to do some paint touch up. Each person that does that could track their time so you understand. And if you pay them by the hour or by piecework, you can go in here and do commissions based on that, okay? Use the VIN to get information. We have the full VIN database all the way back to 1981. I might have mentioned this before. Anybody can go get it. It's not secret sauce. You could go out and get it today, and you could have a database of that. You can do two things. You can either buy it or lease it. The leasing part of it, they charge you every time you scan a VIN. So if you do, those people in here that do dealership work, when you go in and scan 50 cars a day and then go over to the service manager and say, hey, you want me to work on these cars? And they say, yeah, those two. Then you, in a sense, you're paying for the other 48 for nothing. So instead of dealing with all that garbage and trying to pass that off, I just bought the database. So we own it from 81 up. Just purchased in January all the commercial vehicles. So transit vans, all those kind of vans, we have the database for that. You might have seen up above there where it's got boats and motorcycles and stuff, and we're actually creating our own database for that based on all of our clients. So I can upload everything we've got, and then you can add to it, okay? This is kind of we talked about additional things you can put on the work order. This is a totally customizable text area that can have URLs and pictures and videos and stuff. This can go on the bottom. Obviously the videos aren't going to go when you print it, but this is where you could have somebody sign off, right? This is your release form that you could say, hey, we're about to do some edge work. You're asking me to do edge work on your car. That is risky. Go ahead and sign this waiver that everything I do is all on you. Sign right here. And then you got it with you. That goes to the client when you email this to them. The boxes right above that are just saying how you want that stuff to go to them, whether you want it to go PDF or anything like that. And again, like I said, I'm going to breeze through a lot of this so that we can get to some hands-on stuff out there. Different payment modules. So on this one, I have it set up for cash, Venmo, credit cards, checks, whatever you want to do. You click on it, you put in your information, and then when you say take a payment, it goes over to that portal. For instance, if you're on, let's say you're using Square. You click card, it's going to open it up. I think I have Square set up on this. You hit enable, and then it's going to ask you some questions. You put in your username and password, go to town. Yes, sir.
As you may be aware, I'm from the other side of the pond.
Yes, sir.
Is a system like this readily available for UK?
Yes, we have had clients in the UK. In Canada, we have several clients. You can choose whether you are states or provinces, right here. If you're in Canada, you choose province. If there's other things in the UK, and the one thing that really sets us apart from other CRM companies is that I don't just do CRMs for the detailing industry. Okay, we are, as far as I know, of the ones that I've talked to, we're the largest group of people. I have 12 software engineers, and that's all they do is write software. We write software for anybody. I mentioned the other day Microsoft, Pepsi, Mid-America, the federal government, blah, 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 blah.
Name dropping.
Yeah, I'm just name dropping a few. You know, maybe the federal government of the United States. No, so it's really, and that's a really small contract, by the way. Microsoft one was big time, but I'd rather not work for them. So, because of that, if you have changes, if you came to me and you're like, hey, we've got to add, whatever. I got one employee that only speaks, he's from Scotland. I can't even understand him. Can we put in subtitles? We'll put in subtitles. So, and there's ways to do different things. I'll give you an example of that. Right on here, some of this stuff is in Spanish because Jody is in El Salvador this week, and we're using the same system. So these are productos instead of materials. You can put products, you can put my juice, you can put whatever you want to put in there as far as the words that you see on the program. If you've got different brands up here, let's just remove, or you can add Rupes or whatever you use for that. Okay, I'm going to go to the really good stuff. This right here, if our software did nothing else in the entire world, this piece is worth 15 times what we do. These are automatic notifications and reminders, okay? So in this case, if you go through the sales process, and Dan shared a sales process with me last night, and we looked at it, and it's kind of if this happens, then this, and this, and then this, and how you should do your workflow. This can handle 90% of it. So for instance, this reminder is saying, send a text message to the contact that I have in my system that are retail only, because I don't want to bug my dealerships every single time I get an invoice. Once it's completed, then you're going to send this message that says, your car's ready for pickup. Please pick up your car before 5 p.m. You can pay right here on this link to my online portal. And thank you very much for doing business with my detailing company. And you do nothing. It just automatically goes. You change the work order from in progress to completed, and that goes out. Okay. Ceramic coatings. That 6-week maintenance is really, really important for retaining that customer, but it's really, really hard to stop detailing on Randy's car long enough to go and send a message to somebody. This counts it down. It says, hey, exactly 6 weeks. So the second that you complete somebody's ceramic coating, a timer starts for that particular car, for that particular service. And it says, it's been 6 weeks. Reminder, you have a 6-week maintenance schedule. Please text or call this for more information, or you can put a link to your online scheduling right in there. Never have to touch it. Works for you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, never asks for a raise, never asks for you the day off, nothing. It's always working. You can put as many of these in there as you want. You can, for online scheduling, one of the things that we do is we have one that goes, this should go to you. Jody's been playing. Right here, we're going to send it to the employees. Guess what? You got an online request for a detail. Log in and go check it out and finalize it. So you send that to an employee and they're going to get a text. Got a customer in Ohio. And we just set his up the other day, and he had the most awesome message. It's like, he says, guess what, sweetie? You just got an online schedule. And he sends it to himself. And it's awesome. Gives himself a little positive boost, a little mental health there. So this would tell you when somebody requests something online, because unless you're looking at that system, you don't even know if somebody requested something. And that's a great way to do that. And then this one, I'm going to highlight this one, and hopefully we haven't changed it much. Okay. This is what we call an on-demand. You can do an email, text, whatever you have. If obvious question, if I don't have Randy's email in there, it's just not going to send him one. This is an email to every retail customer on demand, which means when I hit that button, my April Fool's special went out. And it said, hey, we're not fooling around, no joke, no tricks, just a great special to get you your car detailed and ceramic coated. 20% off if you do it before March 31st. Boom, and it goes to every single email in that system that's a retail customer. Got a call from Nathan Warren in Indiana in February. And he said, man, we're really slow. He's been traveling back and forth to Florida. We're super slow. What are we going to do, guys? And he called Jody and I up. We sat down and we put one of these together for him. Hit the go button. That was on Wednesday. Thursday morning, he called us. He says, guys, I just booked $3,100. That's awesome. Friday morning, he said, holy crap, I just did over $6,000 in bookings. And on Saturday, he called Jody and he said, I just booked the entire month of March. One email. Whole month. Okay? So when I say that this is worth the price of admission, I am not kidding you. This is one of my favorite features. I've been doing this for, we've been around since 2009 for 15 years, and this is my favorite feature of this system. All the other bells and whistles are great and cool and fine, but that one brings money in the door. Okay? I mentioned that I can send you the link. I will show you that out there for the online scheduling when we do the other part. But you can send somebody a text message when they click on that link. It's modified for your phone so they see your schedule in there. Okay? We do our online scheduling a little different. Anybody here that's using Detail Bookie, I will show you ours so that you can see the difference between ours and our friend Dustin. Okay? We had a request from some of our clients. We like colors. We like things like that. You can do these things called callbacks. So for instance, let's say I'm waiting on parts. On my schedule, I got all these cars. I got the whole month out there. How do I know which ones I'm waiting on parts for? It's the one with the bright red thing. I can just look and see. Somebody's going on vacation. Purple's vacation. I know that somebody's going to be out. You set all that up. Appointments. You can have any kind of appointment you want. And these colors are not just like red, green, blue, yellow. It's actually the whole spectrum. You can have any shade or any hue of color you want. I like colors. So anything you want. Okay, this is how our scheduling works. You decide, if you wanted to on a daily basis, the times and dates that someone can request work. They are not automatically putting something on your schedule. Okay? And that's by design, because there's no way that somebody's coming in my system and going, oh, it's Friday at 3 o'clock and I've got a 4-door F350 1-ton dually and it has got Colorado pinstripes all down the side, and I'm going out of town this weekend and I need it back, but you allowed me to put it on your schedule. So now you've pissed somebody off. So here's what we do. You set the times that they can request work from you. Now, oh crap, we took Friday off. No problem. You just turn off Friday. So this Friday, nobody can schedule anything. You can manage your business from this screen for yourself and your employees. The next thing that happens is, and this we work with Chris DiGiovanni at Detailer's Roadmap if you use them, okay? And if you set up a website with those guys, sorry, I heard through the internet told me that, so I apologize for that problem. This is more visual than anything, just to give you an idea of what we're doing, because we're pretty transparent. But we're creating this little thing this guy affectionately called a widget, and I told him I don't want any of your widgets in my system. But we are going to go to your website. I'm going to show you what ours looks like in just a second. And you're going to put a message. Thanks, we'll get a hold of you shortly. A representative will contact you as soon as possible. Or, yo, we'll call you back. Whatever you want to say. Then you're going to create a button. We're going to choose the color from our infinite number of colors so it absolutely matches your website. And then you're going to say on that button, what's it going to say? Request a service, right? This one says request a service. And all this other stuff is just code that we're showing you what it does. It's going to go to retail type of customers, blah, 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 blah. Okay? And then this is what it looks like if you're a real nerd. It looks like that. And that's basically what Christy, Giovanni, or any of us nerds do, is we're taking that stuff that you just configured. I want this color button, I want it to be here, I want it to be this size. And we make that piece, and that goes over to Chris, and they put that on your website. And what that looks like is this.
A car.
Yeah, it looks like a 55 Chevy, doesn't it? So then on your website, schedule your service today, request a service. And I chose all that. We can have rounded corners, it can be square, it can be on every single page, you can do whatever you want. When they click on it, okay, one of the things they're going to see is the times you said you're available. The other thing they're going to see in your parts and services, you configure all that stuff or bring it over from QuickBooks or whatever. You're going to see one thing over here where it says can schedule. Those are the ones that you want your potential clients to see. So you can have fake services that just says full awesome detail. The Mac Daddy package. Jamie Buchanan, Dirty Old Cars, he's got a package called the Mac Daddy, and it's the whole thing, right? The whole enchilada, anything, the kitchen sink. That's what they're going to see. Your other services are in here, right? This is some, dealership stuff. You choose whether it has commissions or whatnot. So when they go in there and they choose request a service, they're going to get this lovely thing with your logo. This is semi-white labeled for every single client. So your logo goes up here. It'd say KAD. They're going to see you because we want your branding is what is important, not mine. They're going to go through a whole bunch of stuff here. There's going to be a privacy policy, terms of service, all that kind of good stuff because you want them to feel safe that you're there. There's a reCAPTCHA, which means that's that I'm not a computer. And then they have to fill out a couple of things. Depending on the types of things you do service for, and I'm going to cheat because my computer is just going to pop it in there automatically. We got boats and RVs and motorcycles and vehicles, right? They have to put in a couple of things. They have to at least put in a year, a make, a model. It's a truck.
Does this auto-save their information?
Abso-freaking-lutely. So, and then if they have it, which they won't, they can put a VIN number in. But everything in here is automatically saved. Our database is what I call a forever database. That's my term, not an industry term. In a database, when you delete something, generally it's not actually deleted. It's marked as deleted. That's the way the code reads. So the actual nerd script is mark as deleted, but it's still there. Okay, you've all heard of we absconded, we went into Epstein's house and we confiscated his computer and we found all this information, right? You know why that happens? Because he deleted it. It's still there. Just as a general rule for all of you out there it's all on there, even when you delete it. Except for Hillary's, because, yeah. Yes, sir?
So if the client does enter the VIN number,
yeah.
Does that give you the information? Have you got the...
Your make and model is decoded, yes. So we'll get right to that the next thing. So let's go next. Once they do that, they're going to see the 4 or 5 things that you said were going to be on there. Don't know if you noticed or not, but I had a Spanish detail in there. Detail the interior. We're going to do an exterior detail. Okay? They can put a note in here. Sorry, really bad. Okay? They're never going to do that. They're always going to say, oh, it's really great. Here's the times. We turn Friday off. They can't schedule on Friday. They get to see the actual times that they can do it. If you notice, we were open till 3, right? On my example, they can only schedule till 2.
So if they've ordered an exterior detail, you're saying on them days then it's an hour? So
No. I'm saying, okay. What I'm saying is you're telling them when they can bring their car in. Because remember, they're not actually scheduling it. They're requesting a service. So here's the really cool part that I like. We require them to choose 2 times. Why would we do that? Anybody have any idea?
Just in case you may have overbooked.
That's my man right there. Because if you tell a customer no, you've pissed them off. But when they have to choose 2 times, you are 50% more likely to have an available time for that. And that is exactly what people from the other softwares have come to us and said, either 2 things. 1, I hate that they put it on my schedule because I want to control my schedule. Or they say, I constantly have to tell them I can't do that because it's a 4-door Ford F1, 250, 3/4 ton black truck. I don't have time. So this is less harmful to your brand, if you will. So they choose 2 times. As soon as they choose 1, it grays out the rest of that day. They can't do it in the same day. It also blocks off the current day you're in automatically. So I kind of cheated there. I turned Friday off, but we're already in Friday. Because you can't do it today. I'm already in today. Okay? So let's say either of these times they could go to the next week and say, I got to have it on a Tuesday. Whoops.
If we allowed same-day booking, is that possible?
Yes, you can do that. So, go ahead.
You also do you show Tuesday, but instead of have 9, 10, 11, can you do 9 and then to 12? That's it. That's the only 9 or 12.
Yeah, let me address that. There is a way to do that. So they've chosen their 2 times. It gives them when they did it. Again, it makes them feel all happy because we got a recaption, all this good stuff, Google's privacy policy. It's going to give them a summary of what they requested, and then it's going to hit the complete button, and then it's going to take the little spinning ball of death. Thank you for your request. A representative will contact you shortly. Okay, now, at this point in time, it's going to send out a reminder, remember, to the employee that says, hey, you have a lovely request waiting for you. Please go check it out. But my phone's over there, and I'm working on a car. So there's 2 ways we do that. One is it also puts it into a special place in my heart. No, it puts it in here, and that little red obnoxious button shows up when somebody's scheduled something online. So in answer to your question, Russ, if you look at the checkbox with the exclamation, that is not a VIN. The one down below, the green checkbox, that is a verified VIN, in this case from Chevrolet. Okay? So because we own that database, when the manufacturers turn in those VINs, they will verify that is an actual VIN from that manufacturer. So when we get out on the outside, I'll show you, you just scan the VIN, decodes year, make, and model, and it actually does body type as well, car, truck, SUV. Okay? So let's go look for that online approval. It's going to look a lot like these, but it's new. So if you notice, it says request for service. Here's the one we just did that was really bad. That note shows up, lets you know it's really bad. There's 2 things. One, they didn't see the price because it's a starting point. And we assume you want to do a consultation because this is a 2009 Chevy truck. It's really bad. I don't even know if it's a 2-wheel drive short bed, if it's a 4-door long bed 1-ton dually. It's a truck and it's really bad. Okay, so we assume you need to have a consultation. And remember, they did 2 times, so they don't have one for sure. So once I go into that order, a bunch of things are going to happen. So as soon as I start going in here, I'll go, well, let's see. Actually, on my schedule, now I'm going to jump ahead here. So every single one of those tabs and every single one of the sub-tabs, this remembers where you were at. Nothing more frustrating than going, oh crap, I got to go look at my schedule, but I'm in the work order. But if I go to the schedule, I'm going to lose where I was at, and then I got to search for everything again. Ah, nay, my friends. That is not what happens. So you go to the schedule. This is the schedule. Okay, wow, I'm really not booked. It tells me who it is. It doesn't tell me a lot. Little black dot. We'll get to that. That's an employee. I know who that is. And I go, yep, I could do it either one of those days. Now, if I go back to orders, guess what it did? It remembered exactly where I was. Okay? Now, you go out here and you go, you know what? It's already selected their first choice because that was their first choice. And if you call them on the phone and you go, that's great. This is a big truck. It's not going to be $150. It's an absolute mess. This is a $1,500 exterior because that thing is bad. And I'm going to keep the regular one they checked, and I'm just going to say it's scheduled. If you notice up in the top here, this little blue stuff, that's updating to the database real time and saving. The question about does it save their information? Now, I use this demo all the time, so you get 1 million of these, but in this case it says, hey, whoa, we got a Rod Pusey already in there. Is this the same guy? Do you want to use this one, or do you want to do a different one? Well, I know it's not at Russell Honda, so I'm going to go ahead and say, well, it's actually this guy, right? And I'll say, use this customer. It can actually say, we've already got this 2009 Chevy, because they put the VIN in there, and it says Rod Pusey, but this is a Tracy Pusey. And then the bottom of that it said add as a new contact, and it'll put my wife in there as a contact name. Okay, so now we got it. We got this, and we say, well, wow, this isn't really a VIN. You know, we need to go ahead and edit that item. So if I edit the item and I go into that, I can add the VIN number. I'm not actually pushing the button in there. So let's go look at the schedule, and now we're going to see that thing pop up out here. Give me a refresh, baby. And then it'll show up where you had it. So there it is on the 16th. Now, this is not my favorite view. There's not a lot of information. You kind of go, not really impressive. So you can change the view of whatever suits you. So I can go to a week view, and I hit this summary, and now it shows me what vehicle I'm working on. So I get a little more information. The less employees, the better this works. The more employees you have, you kind of got to break it down. I mentioned employees. So let's go back in the system. Let's click on the user area. Each user, we'll pick on Brenda here. Each user can have a color, and this has nothing to do with their actual skin color. This has to do with what I'm going to show you, which is what I want to do. So in this case, Brenda does not get a commission. Oh, she does. She's got a commission per service. So you can say if something is commissionable or not, and you can give a commission to an individual employee. Randy's been doing this a long time. He's salaried, but I give him a commission of 35% on every service he does. We can do that. You just started yesterday, sorry. So this guy's just hourly. You are super fast, hungry, you are, what do they call it? Flat rate. So I'm gonna pay you 2 hours, but if you get it in an hour and a half, you still get paid 2. Any of those combinations we can do.
Can the employees, can they see this?
This part right here,
Schedule is, or no?
they can. So on this particular case, Brenda has a login. She's allowed to log in. There are 4 different user types in the system. Each of them has a different price. It's starting to sound confusing, but it's not. $65 a month to start. You have to have at least one person that has godlike status and can change everything. Okay? So that $65 gets you the main administrative user and everything. The whole thing. If you connect to QuickBooks, that's part of the 65. If you call me up and say I need to add, a feature in here so they can do XYZ, it's $65 a month. My goal is to keep you using it just like every other product company out here, right? We want you to keep using our system because that's how we make our money. As opposed to going, yeah, nope, I'm gonna ding you, man. You wanna add that drop down, that's gonna be like, I don't know, $175 an hour, and it's gonna take me about 2.5 weeks, so 10, 15 grand, okay for a drop down? And that's really how expensive software is. Instead, we just say, you just keep using the system, I'm gonna add it in there. So there's an administrator. Then anyone that needs to add vehicles, change services, maybe assign a technician, so more of like your manager, they are, and what we call a manager can see a region or a group of individuals that you have given to them. Randy happens to be a manager where he works, okay? So he would be a manager. His boss, Steve, is the administrator. Actually, Melissa's the administrator. Randy's a manager. He can see everybody's schedule. He can do all that stuff, but he can't necessarily go in there and change map pricing. He can't go in there and, delete a customer, things like that. But he can bring in cars. He can assign Crystal to it. He can assign anybody to it in that sense. Then the next level down from that is just a tech. We call him a Tech 1. And that's your really trusted technician. I can go in, I can schedule my own work, I can scan a car, and I can add the services that the administrators put in there. So this is your really trusted employee. And then from there, it's like Tech 2 and Tech 3. Tech 2's $10 a month. They can see their schedule. They can't change anything. They can go, oh, I got to go work on this car today. They go work on the car. It's $10. Tech 3's are like, I hire in Joe Schmo over here. This is my lot wash, and I just want to track what Joe does and pay him. He's $5. Just, his name's in the system, and you just track what Joe does. Now that fluctuates every month. This is a ton of work for us, but it works really good for you guys. Summertime, you're super busy, you hire in 3 people, right? So we got $65 administrator, $55 for this guy, $10 for this, right? Okay, so that's whatever that is in math. Wintertime comes, I don't need this guy. This guy's part-time. We don't charge you for that guy. You just make him inactive, no charge. Gets really bad, I gotta cut it down to just me, $65 a month. Summertime, you bring in 5 contractors, you pay for those months that they're using it, and then it goes away. So it fluctuates. Instead of the a la carte, you pay me and you get everything. There is no contract except for the current month that you've paid for. That's all that we require, right? If you come in and it's between the 1st and the 5th, it automatically charges on a credit card. You've paid us $65. That month, you got it. It's cable TV. It's on or it's off. The next month, though, if you're like, hey, you know what? I gotta back off a little bit, so we're gonna hold it up, or I broke my leg, or I had to kill Kenny. We can drop off the pricing. You killed Kenny. I've been waiting 5 days for that. 5 days. You know? Whew. Wait till I do my Cornholio impression. Okay, so then that's all changed every month. Okay, and you can address that all the time. You can add and remove users. You don't even have to let me know.